press. Lock up, guess who? Press, 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 press.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be installing and watercoloring this wig I hand constructed. It is made using a 5x5 613 closure and 2 bundles of 613 straight hair in 12 inches. So I'm going to start by using or adding my color to some warm water. This is Neon Orange by Kiss, and this is not boiling water, it's just hot from the tap water. So I'm going to start by pouring both bottles into my water, and then I'm going to stir vigorously until I get an even consistency and there's no clumps of color in the water. Once I've completed stirring and there are no globs of color, I'm just going to drop my wig into the water, and I'm going to make sure that it's completely submerged so that I get an even color. I'm going to dip it a few times. I'm going to open and separate the hair to make sure that the color goes all throughout the wig, to make sure that there are no splotches of blonde or anything like that. No, I had a boo-boo here. I got my hair caught in the comb. But anyway, yeah, it's out. So yeah, I'm just going to keep dipping the hair back and forth and making sure that I open up the wig and make sure the color gets in there evenly. You don't have to worry about any of the color standing in the lace because the watercolor doesn't do that. So now I'm going to start by putting a ball cap on my client. So I'm taking a regular stocking cap in nude and I'm placing it over her head, and I'm going to cut 2 holes for her ears. After I cut the ear tabs, I'm going to use my Got To Be Glued gel, and I'm going to take it right across her forehead. And normally I would do ear to ear, but this time I'm only going to do right where the closure is going to be glued down. So I'm only doing that 5-inch area in front of the forehead. After that, I'll take my Got To Be Glued spray, and I'm going to spray that down and put the client under the dryer. Once my client comes from under the dryer, I'm going to use my needle and thread, and I'm going to stitch around where a closure would be so I can cut the excess cap from around her head. So I'm just using blonde thread because that's what I use to make the wig. So you can use color of your choice, blonde or black, whatever works for you. Now I'm going to cut the ear tabs and just cut the excess lace from around the ball cap, and I'm going to carefully cut right across their forehead as close to the line where I use my Got To Be Glued gel and spray. I'm cutting any excess lace here because I want a really smooth flat transition at the front of the closure. Now I'm just going to use a darker cream foundation, a little bit darker than her natural skin tone, to shadow the ball cap. So what that does is it creates an illusion of the line being invisible underneath the lace. So I'm going to use the shade darker than, a couple of shades darker than her skin tone, and then I'm going to go back with my powder foundation and blend that out so that I get a smooth, even coverage, and it gives the look of scalp underneath where the wig is going to be, where the closure is going to be placed. Now I'm going to use alcohol. I'm using 70% because that's all I could find. I normally would prefer a 99 or 91% alcohol, but I had to use what I had because of COVID-19. So all the alcohol is gone. So I'm cleaning her forehead to get rid of any makeup and excess oil. And now I'm going to use my lace adhesive. You can use the lace adhesive of your choice. I'm not one to tell you what kind of lace glue to use. You use what you can find in your area, or you use what you like. There are several different types, but the important thing is to make sure that you read the directions and follow them specifically to make sure that you get the hold that you need. Some will require you to do multiple layers. Other companies may only ask you to do one. This particular one, I've done 3 layers. So I'm smoothing it out with the end of my edge brush. It's a metal piece that I'm using to smooth it out with. And I'm really pressing that ball cap into the skin to make sure that it's seamless and has a smooth transition from the cap to the skin. Now that the glue has dried clear, I'm going to install my lace wig. So because it's a closure, again, you don't really have to worry about the size and the ear tabs. My main concern is making sure that there's a strong hold at the front where the closure is. So I'm just going to slide this on, and I'm going to take my rat tail comb and I'm going to smooth the closure into that adhesive. And I'm going to do that to get a good hold and to make sure that it's truly, the lace is melted into the skin. Now I'm going to use my scissors to cut small slits in the lace, and then an eyebrow razor to cut the lace as close to the hairline as I can. After I cut a piece, I'm going to press into the skin, trying not to use my fingers because of any oil on my fingers, and press into the skin using the end of my eyebrow razor. Now I'm going to part out my baby hair. She was specific on having her some baby hair, so I parted that out. And then I'm going to part her hair in the middle. I'm going to use just a little bit of foam wrap to help me mold that hair down in the middle and smooth it down so it's as nice and flat as possible. I'm going to go in with my tweezers just to tweeze a little bit more in that hairline so that it looks a little bit more natural and not so dense. And you can kind of eye yourself if you've tweezed enough during your pre-install, or if you need to do a little bit more once it's on your client's head. But I'm just gonna go in and create a little less density in the front of the hairline just to make it look more natural when I lay my baby hair. Now that that's done, I'm going to use my eyebrow razor to cut my baby hair. So I'm just cutting in a zigzag motion, and I'm not making them super long, but I don't want to make them too short either. So you kind of have to gauge how long you want your baby hair to be, but the longer they are, the more unnatural they look. So definitely don't cut them too long. I'm going to use a little bit of foam wrap and my edge brush, the comb side, to create my baby hair. One of the important factors, or one of the important keys to laying baby hair, is to remember that sometimes less is more. So you don't want to overdo it unless the client specifically asks for dramatic baby hair. But yeah, less is more. So I'm just making sure that they look really natural. But she specifically wanted baby hair for this look. Once the baby hair is laid, I'm gonna take an elastic band and I'm gonna tie it around her forehead to make sure that number one, the baby hair lays flat and lays dry under the dryer, and number two, to make sure that I get a really good hold and melt on my lace. Once she comes from under the dryer, I'm going to go ahead and flat iron the hair out before I get ready to cut. And I'm doing this to make sure that I get an even, smooth cut, and to make sure that the hair looks really polished before I get done, because I had to blow dry the hair after I watercolored it. Now I'm going to remove my elastic band. The lace is dry, the baby hair is dry. So now what I'm going to do is use my hot comb to really make sure that the part looks really flat. So I'm gonna go and smooth that out, make sure it's really flat, which is what I do to all of my wigs. So this is just an electric hot comb, so you can use what works for you. Some people like the one on the stove, but whatever works for you. To get ready to cut very shortly, so I'm just gonna go in and tweeze out my part just so it looks more natural, because I need that to really look like scalp. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit of makeup right where that part is to give the illusion of scalp. This is the same cream foundation that I use for her ball cap. So you can use cream or powder, you can use whatever works better for you. I just use cream because it's a little denser and it gives me more color, so it looks more like a natural part. So we're getting ready to do a blunt cut, and I'm going to use my clippers just because they cut much more hair much more quickly rather than using shears, and then I'll go back and clean it with my shears. She wanted this to be a shorter bob, almost chin length. So what I did was I did my base cut first. And once I got my base cut, that kind of gave me an idea of where she wanted it. So once I created my base cut and she told me exactly where she wanted it, I went in back with my clippers to fine tune that cut. We wanted something a little more edgy because of the whole look anyway, so we went shorter than the base cut. So I just went all the way around following my guide to create the perfect length for her. Now that my cut is done, I'm going to go in with my flat iron and I'm going to smooth and press out the hair, adding just a slight bump to the end so it gives me a little bit of that Edna look. That's specifically what she wanted, and I think it's super cute, super trendy, and very edgy with the color and the makeup and the whole outfit. So I'm just going in, adding a slight bump, not a tight curl or anything like that, but just enough to give it a little bit of movement and to make it look very polished. to really give a major shout out to the makeup artist who came through with this beautiful orange glitter cut crease eye. Her name is Jazz Nicole. She is located in Albany, Georgia. So if you are in need of makeup services, please definitely check her out. She is so professional. She's so sweet. She really listens to you to understand what kind of look you're going for, but very, very talented. So definitely, if you're in the area, please check her out. Again, her name is Jazz Nicole on Facebook, and yeah, check her out. And we'll be featuring more of her makeup looks on YouTube as well, so you'll get a chance to see who she is and see more of her work. But I'm just gonna go around and smooth this hair out, and you have to excuse her drinking because we were hungry. I had worked all day, and yeah, we were starving, so yeah. So I'm just gonna go back and fine tune the look. I'm really kind of done, but I'm just using my hot comb to really flatten out and smooth out that part area and to make sure that the closure lays really, really flat. And then I'm gonna go in with my shears and just make sure that I don't have any loose hair hanging or, you know, anything like that. But other than that, the look really pretty much is done. So you'll be doing just some fine tuning on your own. Here's the finished look. This is our Cheeto inspired blunt cut Edna Bob. So please stay tuned for more videos. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.